Hello. I think maybe we can go ahead and start just to be mindful of everyone's time, and hopefully more people will join as we go through the presentation. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Really happy to have our first networking event of the year, and hopefully there will be many more to come. Just to make sure that you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up if you do. Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. Really happy again, like I said, to have you all here. Hopefully, this will be a very fruitful event. And with that, I think we can go ahead and start. Catherine, if you can go to the next slide, please. So my name is Belqis. I'm sorry my camera isn't on. I just landed and came out of the plane straight to this meeting, so I look pretty dead, honestly. But I'm really happy to have you here, and I'm really happy to be part of this event. I'm the youth advisor for the Youth Engagement COP. I come from Tunisia and I'm based in Lebanon for now. I'm actually graduating next month. And I have a degree in international affairs and been working on youth engagement and international peace and security for about 5 years now. And with me is my amazing colleague Justine, who is the champion of our COP. And Justine, if you want, just to quickly introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Justine O'Sullivan. I'm the advisor for youth and youth and inclusion at Making Sense International. I recently joined Making Sense in February, and I recently joined the community of practice. And so I'm really excited to support Balkis in championing this work and really excited to get to know more of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So today this is really a chat with honestly all of you, and although we have an agenda, we want to give you the space to interact with us and to share your thoughts with us. And so please feel free to do that. It's more of a chance for you to speak than us actually presenting. We'll start with welcome and introductions. We'll do some icebreaker activity. Then we'll have some questions where we'll be sharing knowledge and asking for your input and what you'd like to see from our COP. Then we'll do breakout rooms and we'll end with closing remarks and reminders. Next slide, please. So just to quickly, for you to learn about YouthPower and YP2LE, it's a USAID-funded project that deepens the integration of positive youth development, evidence and best practices into youth programming, ensuring more sustainable change. Next slide, please. So moving on to talk about specifically our youth engagement COP, we focus on meaningful youth engagement in all aspects of youth programming, and our members are really coming from all around the world with many different expertise. So this is a great platform for you as well to share knowledge and learn from others. Our members have been great in the past and they continue to be. And if you're new to the COP, it's important to know that our members, they contribute to building a common sense of purpose. They share interests, ideas, needs, and resources. And if once you sign up to our COP, specifically the Youth Engagement one on our platform, you'll see that you'll be able to share resources with your fellow members in the COP, and you can also have a discussion with them. It's a very interactive platform, and we'll talk about it a bit more at the end. And also, Catherine shared the links for you to sign up if you haven't yet, and take a look as well on everything. Of course, we want our members, sorry, Catherine, if you can go back just to continue that slide. We want our members to engage respectfully with everyone. Please keep in mind that you have youth from all different backgrounds and cultures, so it's important to respect that and respect their integrity. We also expect you to attend quarterly virtual meetings like this one. Sometimes there'll be networking events, sometimes there'll be webinars presented by you or by experts in their fields, and of course participate in the discussion. And these are just some guiding principles on the next slide about how we guide our work and what we think it should look like, and also something around, the principles of the COP itself, like I mentioned, like foster meaningful connection, mapping network engagement, creating and creating practical resources, empowering champions to facilitate, ensure member agency and agility, etc. So just to summarize quickly, this is basically a space for you to interact, to share knowledge, to connect. And it's really a very safe space as well for you to do that. So please join us and sign up if you haven't already. And again, I want to welcome everyone, whoever, is new and who isn't. And yeah, I'll just give it to Justine to kick us off with our first icebreaker.
Sorry, I forgot that I was muted. So like Balka said, and excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold, so if my voice goes in and out, I apologize. But to get everyone started, it would be great to know who we have in the room. So if you could go ahead and please unmute yourself, share with us where you're from, where you're based, and maybe what you do right now, if you're a student or if you're a professional, and what your field of expertise is. So feel free to jump in with whoever wants to start.
Hi, I'm happy to go first. My name is Catherine. It's nice to meet and see all of you. I also work at Making Sense International with my colleague Justine, and I support the YP2LE project, the YouthPower 2 Learning and Evaluation, in a couple different ways, mostly providing a mix of administrative, operational, and technical support. I am based in Washington, D.C., and I am very passionate about working with vulnerable and marginalized youth. And I guess I'll pass it on to Megan. Can I put you on the spot?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Megan Heinrichs, and I'm the manager of knowledge management and online communities at Making Sense International. I'm mainly working on the YP2LE contract, supporting the development and evolution of hubs and communities of practice, such as the Youth Engagement Community of Practice. And I'm based out of North Carolina, and I'm very happy to be here.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, it's Angela. I'm from Albania, and I'm joining also from Tirana, Albania. We're based in the Balkans. And right now I am an early career professional. It's been 5 years since I've been working on mainly economic empowerment issues and development work with survivors of human trafficking. So I would say my field that I want to expand my expertise would be economic empowerment approaches, especially with vulnerable communities and with a focus gender-based violence, human trafficking survivors. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Angela. Mariana, would you like to go? Sorry to put you on the spot.
No problem. Thank you so much. And sorry that I'm super late.
No worries.
Hello, everyone. I think that my camera is not working. But in any case, so I'm Mariana. I'm Colombian. I'm currently based in Colombia, but I kind of come and go from France. I work at the Datasphere Initiative as a research associate and project manager. And we're currently launching our Youth for Our Data Future project. I can post more details on the chat. So we're currently pretty much hosting some dialogues via TikTok and Reels on Instagram with young people to pretty much gather some insights on how they're relating to the data economy, how data governance is impacting them or not. And also what types of different concerns they're having in terms of privacy issues, how TikTok is currently trying to be banned in the US, and some other sorts of challenges. So yeah, you're very welcome to join if you're interested, or reach out if you want to learn more. So yeah, that's me.
That sounds great. And with that, why don't we move to the next slide?
Awesome. Thank you, Justine.
Mhm.
Hi to both of you. Really happy to have you with us. Just to quickly introduce myself again, because you weren't there when I did that. My name is Balqis. I'm the Youth Engagement COP advisor, and I work with Justine, who's the champion, and you'll basically be hearing a lot from both of us. So I'm very happy to have you here with us. The event is really a networking event, so it's more of you talking and expressing your thoughts than us. And the first question we wanted to ask is what you want to see from the COP in terms of activities, topics, events, and you can definitely also link it to your field of work. But we really wanted this to be a space for you to share what you expect from it and what you want to see for us to plan accordingly. Also, feel free to unmute yourself and share your thoughts.
I'm happy to go. Hi, Angela. Hi, Mariana. I briefly introduced myself before you joined, so I guess I'll do it again. I'm Catherine. I work at Making Sense International, and I work in the youth engagement space. I work on the YouthPower 2 Learning and Evaluation Project, which is the USAID funded activity that makes this webinar possible. And something that I would like to see from this COP is really just a sense of community. I think it's very important to have people around you who are also interested in similar topics, but who also bring diverse perspectives. So people that can understand my passion, but maybe challenge me to think in new ways. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Catherine, for sharing. And Mariana, I'm sorry I'm going to put you on the spot, but I actually wanted to ask if maybe in terms of what you just shared, the link, how do you see us, how do you see that or the work that you do in collaboration with our COP? You know, what kind of maybe events we can bring or what sort of, if you can tell us more about what you're doing, right? And how we can bring that to our community, I think that would be great.
Yeah, no, of course, and thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, no, indeed, like I mean, like I'm young and I'm a lawyer and policymaker, and to me, like working on data and AI regulation and policy, I just feel that our voices as young people are really needed on the field, and sometimes we're not being like completely included in the conversation, and sometimes even policy decisions or even technical developments or technological issues or things do not really include our voices. So this project actually seeks to engage young people so that starting in August, people can record themselves kind of as TikTok and Reels to share their insights or their concerns regarding these topics. Of course, we will be sharing more in the coming weeks. We're starting to put the project together and consolidating a series of partnerships. So in terms of engagement, I would love for the COP to also like somehow be involved first in terms of sharing the open call for videos in case young people in the network or people that we know would be interested in submitting videos, answering to a series of questions. And at the same time, if any of you is interested in joining as a potential partner, we're consolidating those partnerships as engagement partners. So people that are actually coming together and sharing the call, potentially reaching out to people. And for this project, we're particularly going to focus in the US. So that is also exciting in terms of engaging diverse people in the US. And we're targeting young people, and I mean, like the population ranges from like 15-year-olds until like 25, maybe up to 30. So like, yeah, it would be great if anybody wants to join by recording videos and or joining as a potential partner. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Definitely. And I Actually, I wanted to say that you have access to the members of the COP, because once you register on the website, you can post in the discussion forum and share the links and the call for the videos that you talked about directly with them. So definitely feel free to do that once you're part of the platform and you sign up. And personally, I think it will be really also amazing to partner maybe with you and have you talk in a webinar about, you know, the work that you're doing here, especially with AI and access to data. I think it's becoming super, super important nowadays, especially with the huge increase in, you know, AI softwares and like ChatGPT and things like that. I mean, I know at one point my university was struggling with trying to trying to identify students who are writing their whole master's thesis through ChatGPT, which funny enough, once they found the software to do that, like I think there were 3 students, the percentage was like 100%. So they wrote everything with ChatGPT. And so I think it's very important to maybe do a webinar with that. And if you're interested, we'll definitely invite you and to speak about it and discuss it with others. And before we put someone else on the spot, I just actually wanted to say that, yes, our participant from Nigeria is back, and if they want to introduce themselves, because we haven't heard from them.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Julius. Sorry, my camera is not too good, so I'm sure you can hear me. Yeah, my name is Julius. I'm a youth leader, a teacher, and I'm an author. One thing I want to talk about is the first thing is the publicity. It's a wonderful programs that we need youth leaders to come up to share ideas, to solve problems. But the numbers I'm seeing here making me feel that we've not done enough publicity. So I feel we should do more on the publicity. We really want to be here. I'm sure they are not really aware. Yeah. And secondly, what are you people doing in Africa? Africa and the youth to have a passport area of education. So this involves youth leaders, someone like me, really have passion for education and they have passion for youth. That's what I've been doing added. And that's why I always look forward for a program so that I can go back to my community and empower the youth. And the youth leaders have been working with you long. So I'm looking forward to being involved so that I can impact my community. Thank you very much. And lastly, please, in terms of, I have a lot of network for the youth. So if you can involve me in your publicity, I can assure you that I'll bring more people to this program. They need to know what is happening. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I caught everything you said. So in terms of engagement, definitely I totally agree with you. And again, this is a chance to invite you guys to interact through the discussion forum, because that is where you can talk to fellow members as well. And feel free, because I know this is something our members might not be aware of, but you can definitely share about the activities that we're doing through our youth engagement COP through your platforms with your connections. So feel free to do that and to reach out to all the amazing African youth that you've talked about, who you think might be interested in joining us. And it can be as simple as, you know, sharing the link to the YP2LE website, maybe talking a bit about our COP, and also inviting them to our next event. So feel free to do that, but thank you so much for sharing. I think we have one person left if you'd like to share with us any thoughts you have.
Well, for me, in terms of this COP, I would really like to see also how we can collaborate together. I know that we are from different topics, but nowadays they're also very interlinked. For example, the safety of youth and the risk of online exploitation, and how we can use digital tools or technology to keep them safe, or just how we can exchange practices. Maybe there are some tools or applications that I don't know that they exist, but maybe friends who have more knowledge in the IT sector or technology or data, they can help us to learn more. So maybe just exchanging experiences, and that can be done through the platform, Youth Lead, or even through these ongoing meetings, like networking sessions.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, like we said at the beginning, one of the main aims of the COP is to create a network between you guys, and it's also to create a space where you can share knowledge and resources, like you said, and tools to learn from each other. So definitely, and we'll work on doing that as well in the future. Just please stay engaged with us, and I'll definitely reach out to you as well after our call to talk about everything that you've discussed, but we've taken note of it. Justine, if you want to take us through the next question.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to. So going along the lines of more of that networking conversation and getting to know each other a bit more, what are the most urgent needs in your professional life right now, such as do you need skills building and capacity building or more soft skills, expanding your networks, looking at, maybe sharing best practices to secure funding. This is an opportunity for everyone to discuss. What do you need?
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone.
Yes,
Hi,
we can hear you.
Julius.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity again to be here. In Africa, I'm speaking on the behalf of Africa. One of the major youths, we have the highest population in Africa, and yet we are having the highest unemployment in Africa. And the reason why this is so is because in our curriculum, they are trained mostly on theory. So once they finish school, they get to the environment. What they learn in school is different from what they see outside. So there's a need for skill acquisition program. So in Africa, what we need, like my organizations, what we do is we create skill acquisition program for youth. We have to set people who already made up their mind that they are not going to school. That's it, but it's the opportunity for them to be educated. There's a difference between schooling and education. You can leave school and still be in education. So we make it clear for them. Now, what we need as a person, like what we are doing right now, is skill acquisition program. You trying to discover what they are good at and developing them on that. And it has been really good. But the major challenge we have is capacity, financial capacity to do more. Thank you very much. So we need financial capacity to be able to train more youths to be self-employed. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm done.
Thank you for that. Does anybody else want to sort of share what they're looking for or need in their professional life right now? If not, we can, since there's a smaller group of us, I don't think we should break out into a breakout room. I think we can just have a discussion in the main room here. So we can also continue this conversation or move forward and incorporate a question that goes into the breakout room. So Balkis, I don't know if you want to add that question in.
Yes, definitely. So, like Justine said, I think it's also better to just stay in this room and interact with each other. And initially, we wanted to talk, we wanted to ask you to share your passion, what you work on, and how would you like to collaborate with others in the COP. And I'll actually put that question in the chat. If you guys want to give it a thought, and you don't have to answer right away. I know this might need a bit of time to think, so that's completely fine.
And I know some of those conversation threads have already started to come through as we've started talking to each other. And so this can also relate back to, you know, how would you like to collaborate, and what are you need, or what are you looking to get out of this? So we can kind of combine all three questions into this final discussion. And we have about 15 minutes for this.
If I can share, for me, it's mainly sharing experiences. For example, I know that we are a diverse group, and that's wonderful. And we each bring different dynamics from our own countries. For example, from Albania, I can bring the dynamic of massive youth unemployment rates, and also high rates of corruption and difficulty to just see change happening at the local or national level. And that can also be a huge barrier when you're a young person and you want to bring new innovative ideas in your country. And what I would really like to collaborate is with youth fellows and inspiring change makers from different continents and parts of the world to see whether they've done anything similar on changing the situation at the local level, for example, if they have led a campaign that has been successful, and what they have been the 5 or top 3 highlights of that. Because I know that there is so much being done, and media sometimes does not portray all the positive aspects, but maybe together we can bring those positive aspects and show that you can have change, no matter how small or big it can be. It's step by step. So also sharing some positivity and motivation, because we live in a world that's currently undergoing so many challenges, war, unsafety. So I think it's also good to remind ourselves of the strength that each of us has.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, I think the last speaker just spoke my mind. There are a lot of things going in our environment, and we need to come together, share ideas, make ourselves happy, talk about the good things we have achieved. You know, what actually causes the pressure most time is when you think about what you have not gotten, leaving behind what you have achieved. You understand? You know, whatever the stage you are better than many people. But you keep leaving behind people who are better than, and looking at people who are better than you. At the end of the day, you just feel bad that you've not done enough. And in Nigeria, we have a lot of suicide. You see, no, so because probably nobody to talk to. I feel uh, nobody to encourage in on her. I feel once in a while, let's share as we are sharing our success story, let's also talk about our failure. Tell people who are failing to stand on their own, that okay, I am not the only one in this business. And one of the things that makes business fail in Africa is that successful people always talk about their success. So, and not that they are not going through challenges, but they talk more about their success. So you as a young guy coming up, you just feel they're having success or two, but you are facing your own challenge, and you feel probably you are not supposed to. So I believe let's talk more about our success story. Let's share our failures and see how you're able to navigate your way out of your problem. And most especially, as I said, let's do more of publicity program. People really need this program, and I think I will make myself available to share to my network in the next program. We need people. This is what people want to hear. This is what people, where people need to be at this particular time. And in area of unemployment, please let's keep sharing opportunities. Let's keep sharing opportunities, like direct opportunities that you're sure that is going to work out. Like somebody just sent something to the chat book asking if I've joined the group. Yes, I've joined the group, but sometimes this opportunity are limited to under 30. Like me, I'm above 30, but I'm working with youth. So I don't have opportunity to apply for such. I've been in the group for over 2-3 years. You understand? But what I do is I keep attending programs like this. Let me hear from people who have successfully made it so that I can go to my network and share. But in next program, I'm going to assure you that I'm going to bring more people. So I'm going to talk about this, and I'm sure we'll have more than this in the next program. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really agree with everything that you've said, and hopefully this will be the beginning of something great between all of you, and hopefully also more interaction on the discussion forum that I know I keep bringing up, but that's really your space to put into, like, really implement everything that you've said in the call. I don't know if Mariana, you want to add anything, or just some final thoughts that you have.
I think I'm good from my side. I just agree so much with everything that everybody has been talking about. I just feel that these kinds of gatherings are really, really valuable. And just the fact that we get to share the different projects that we're working on, and hopefully also get people to collaborate and jump in as young people. Once again, I just feel that that's really powerful. So I think that's it from my side. I'm just very excited also to see so much diversity in this call, and I just feel that we should just benefit from that, and hopefully build on those diverse perspectives and experiences that we have. So I think that's it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think as well, the most important step right now is to actually build on everything that you've said, and to take this conversation and continue it through our website. So if you haven't registered again for the COP, please do that, because that will be the first concrete step into creating this network and continuing what the interaction that you've had with each other right now. And I also wanted to invite you to share your LinkedIn profiles if you want as well in the chat. If you have a LinkedIn profile, just put in the link there to connect with each other. And yeah, I don't know, Justine, if you have any final thoughts you want to share before we wrap up.
Yeah, it looks like we have one other person who's joined us, not to put you on the spot, Peter, but essentially what we're all talking about right now is, introducing ourselves, also discussing what are your passions, what you work on, how you would like to collaborate, just really having an informal conversation around needs, collaboration, and anything else you want to talk about. So I know you just joined us, but I don't know if there's anything you want to add. It doesn't look like Peter has access to a mic. At least he doesn't have a mic icon next to him. But it does look like we have another participant, Usha, if you also want to introduce yourself. We are talking about what is your passion, what do you work on, and how would you like to collaborate with other COP members?
Okay, sorry, I was just trying to shut something else off.
No, you're good.
So nice to meet you all. I just saw the invitation come across, so I'm sorry, I'm not, I'm just getting my thoughts here together for you. I do work in global health, and I've worked in youth engagement, basically in development and civil society engagement, as well as in global health. I worked for a few years domestically, and I brought a model across to the work I did on a USAID project some years ago. And it seemed like quite an interesting concept internationally. It seemed like a mysterious concept. I think some of it continues to be mysterious from what I can tell. But I think what's really interesting to me right now is, given the extent of, I guess, discouragement of participation of just civil society, from just citizens to journalists being, we have First Amendment rights here, but not every country does, right? So I'm just curious, we encourage youth engagement, and given what I saw in some countries, literally, I feel some leaders in the health community even felt kind of threatened by youth participating. Our interpretation of youth participation could be different in different places. It's okay to talk in a room, but what if you're doing it with parliamentarians, with leaders? So I'm curious if this has been raised. I hadn't noticed it. It's been a while since I've been engaged actively with the group, but I raised this concern before, and I haven't heard people talking about it. But literally people being jailed, being killed. I mean, I think it's a serious consideration in today's world. And I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking, and, if anyone is talking about that and addressing it, and maybe even studying it, researching it. Anything, anyone else?
Yeah, I'll jump in quickly, just to allow everyone else some time to think about this as well. But I have personally been like an activist, for example, in my home country when the Tunisian revolution happened. And for my master's, I've researched the youth peace and security agenda and youth participation in political processes, negotiations, peace building. And specifically, I looked into the case of Sudan, and like you've said, my what I've seen through my research is that wherever youth want to be engaged or try to be, it's usually like a red flag for those in control in whatever the field is. So youth participation for a lot of, especially in countries where systems are more I would say not as democratic as we would want them to be, youth participation is always a threat. And so I think, at least from like my experience, people and youth obviously are talking about it, but not enough. And it's not because they don't want to, it's because they can't. And so we need to put that factor also into consideration, and think about situations where activism can actually lead to very bad, life-threatening results. And definitely, again, like I've been doing since the beginning, I do invite you to share this topic in the discussion forum. And one interesting way to do it is to ask it as a question, right? It doesn't have to be a paragraph. You can literally just put a question in there and say that you're interested in hearing everyone's thoughts, and maybe even compare it to their countries and what's going on the local level in their communities. And I think that might be the beginning of a great chat and a great discussion. And hopefully, if enough people interact, you can maybe even create another event around that. So yeah, definitely, please, we'll share more about how to. I think you are already in the like on the website, right? Yeah. So feel free to post that as a question, and hopefully everyone here in the chat, I'm going to ask you. It's like a new member task to respond to her question, just to get the conversation going. But yeah, definitely feel free to add that, and hopefully we'll hear from everyone.
Well, yeah, and you know, it has been some years since I was working on that project, but it's really interesting because I'll tell you something else that's related. It was in the same country that the project, I wasn't involved in the training, so I don't really know what happened, but you know, we were doing a national youth reproductive health strategy, and that involved youth engagement. I mean, they did a huge mobilization of mobilizing and educating young people on how they can participate. So when I arrived, probably, you know, into the project, maybe a couple of years, I was there to do the strategy, but they had done the mobilization in advance. Well, by the time I arrived, these national leaders were really very suspicious of young people. And I was kind of shocked, actually. And so I don't know how it was done, but I was really hired as an expert on youth participation. So it is really important. I think that's a lesson that, you know, what are we doing if we are encouraging young people to speak up? Are they going to be possibly putting themselves at risk of any kind, their families? I don't know how risky it was in that context. Ultimately, I didn't, you know, hear about physical harm, but it got to be a violent kind of situation because of elections and whatnot in that country later. So these very same young people had grown up and were aging out, as we call it, and had moved on to even young adult roles. So it is very important to think about as we help people. I think it needs to be defined in the context in which they're living. Even in this country, we've seen in the US that I live in, I don't know of any youth being threatened, but youth are mobilizing and speaking up. So what are the implications for them? I think this could be a really important discussion point. And, you know, youth aren't experts on everything, but neither are adults. That's what I've learned. And, you know, we have to be able to share our issues and help each other. But I don't think what I felt actually in retrospect now, I'm feeling like we have to be accountable also for the risks that we're asking people to take. We do projects and we leave. So what are they left with? Anyway, I'll try and articulate it and put it in our discussion. Thank you for that opportunity.
Of course, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I think that will be a great discussion point, especially that we do have in our COP youth from the Global South. And so they have been recipients of these programs themselves and these funded projects. And I'm sure they will be happy to share their experience with you. Because me as well, when I did my research, like the research I've done specifically targeted UN organizations. And so when I interviewed UN staff and then interviewed activists in Sudan, it was honestly funny to see the big mismatch, right, between the projects and what the staff think they did and what you think the staff did, and it was just yeah, a complete mess. So I think that will be great starting point. So please do share that question and we'll try our best to have everyone answer. This is it on my side, really, unless someone else wants to share anything. Elvis, I see that you joined us. If you want to quickly introduce yourself so we can at least know who you are before we wrap up. We have about 6 minutes left.
If not, then let's move forward to sort of doing the final wrap up. So a quick reminder that we have some fun events coming up in our YP2LE or Youth Power 2 Learning Network. So on Tuesday, June 20th, there is going to be the Youth Systems Collaborative Framework, moving from theory to practice. And so that's going to be part of the Youth System Strengthening COP. And then on Wednesday, June 21st, we're going to have Beyond Binaries, Gender Identities in Higher Education Institutions. And that's going to be put on by the Gender and Higher Education Engagement and Transformation COP. So it looks like there's going to be a few fun events in June. As Balkis has said, we definitely encourage you to use the chat and to use the website and stay in touch. I know people have shared their LinkedIn. Some people have shared their websites about what they're working on. So just a quick plug to use some of those resources. Balkis, I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to add.
Yeah, I just wanted to, first of all, I'm going to share my email with you guys in the chat in case you want to connect with us directly through email with ideas for future webinars, or maybe something you've talked about, to do in the upcoming webinars. We would be happy to have you as an expert, and then maybe we can have everyone else in the call as a youth panelist, just, to share also and add their thoughts from their work. So I'll share my email for you guys to reach out to me directly. And again, I encourage you to really interact through the our platform. Make sure that you also engage with us and keep an eye for our upcoming webinars. We'll be having a couple of them. We're also happy to be seeing you in other COP's events. So definitely join that. And just thank you so much for everyone who's been here and for sharing your thoughts.
Right.
Awesome. I just wanted to give the floor one last time. Someone in the chat asked to be unmuted if he wants to share with us what he wanted to talk about. I think Catherine unmuted you or asked you to unmute yourself. He might be having technical difficulties, but just wanted to give him the floor to share what he wanted to say. If that's not possible, you'll definitely have the discussion forum to share that. So please keep an eye on it. Whatever thoughts you might have after the call as well, feel free to post them and we'll be happy to interact with all of you. Thank you so much again for being here. It was really nice to hear all of you, and hopefully I'll see you online and offline.
All right, everyone, have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And we will connect later. Take care.
Thank you.